Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John Addleman, Mayor of Rolling Hills Estates, and I have a few comments to make. This is a day that's been a long time coming. I'm glad you're all here to celebrate the ceremony dedicating the new Norris Center Drive street name change and honoring the Norris Center for the Performing Arts. I've long maintained that the Norris is the crown jewel a jewel in the city's crown. That's corny, but I think it's exactly right. They've consistently brought diners to the peninsula to enjoy themselves. I've done this before and after performances. We've discovered that Norris is one of only 4 theaters in the entire country that is self-supporting. Everybody else has to be supported by their cities. Yes. Sometimes this fact is forgotten. We're proud to have the Norris in our city and are grateful to them for their efforts. Now, earlier this year, the Norris Center requested to have the street name changed, and we did this in February. That was a unanimous and enthusiastic response from the City Council. It just so happened to coincide with the replacement of illuminated street signs, which you see right behind you, in the commercial district. We got a grant from the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, ARA, in the amount of about $59,000 to replace the well-worn street signs. And you're looking at it right there. We're a little too early to see the illumination, but it's very nice. Very nice. As many of you know, the Norris Theater would not be here today without the hard work and dedication of Joan Moe and Agnes Voss. Joan, I remember talking with you about 1973-74 when I moved to the neighborhood about starting the theater. You and Agnes came to see me. Your $1 million contribution. I couldn't do that, but you know, I was very nice. You had the Community Association of the Peninsula. I remember that, CAP. You started in 1977? All right. Now, Agnes was president and you were vice president, and you were charged with the task of forming a theater management board and raising money to build the theater. Unfortunately, Agnes passed away in an automobile accident a few years after that. Let's see now. Oh, yes. And now a brief history. Maybe most of you know this, but maybe some of you don't. When the shopping mall, which is now called, oh wait a minute, let's go back to Joan. Yes. Joan was a member of the Parks and Activities Commission from 71 to 73, which I didn't know. She joined the Planning Commission in 73 and served on it through 83 and served as chair when the shopping mall, which is now called Promenade of the Peninsula, we all know that name, was developed. During the time, Joan suggested to the city and to Ernie Hahn and Ron Florence that developers provide the land. I don't know how you did that, but you did it. And a shell for 450-seat theater, which they agreed to do. Okay. I love it. I'm going to have to get you on some committees, Joan. Ken Norris Jr. was then approached, and he agreed to provide $1 million for the Eileen and Kenneth Norris Foundation to the theater, which was named Norris Theater in honor of the generous gift. After raising the remainder of the funds, mostly from citizens, I think, of Palos Verdes Peninsula, the Norris Center was built debt-free. I like that. And opened in 1983. Now, in 1991, Dick Moe was president of the Norris Theater Management Board. And it became clear to him and lots of others that additional space was needed. After his term as president, Dick volunteered to head a committee to purchase land located across the street from the theater. We owned it, Rolling Hills Estates. It was right over there, ladies and gentlemen. It was an old post office building. Concrete back-end ramp and tin. Well, I got on the council in 1997, and a little digression. I was asked by Bob Beck to be on the subcommittee for that. And the Norris Theater had a appraisal, I think, of $100,000, as I remember. The city had one also for $750,000. So my question there is, where's your third appraisal? Because the law says if you have dueling appraisals, you have to have a third, and they did not. So I was very fortunate. The gentleman who ran our real estate banking business, the bank I was in, lives here, and he drove by one evening and called me the next morning. And he said, John, not a penny more than $300,000, and that's what you paid. I'll take full credit. No. Oh my. Let's see. After you did the building, Ken Norris offered another generous donation of $1 million to construct a new building, which, as you know, is named Harlyne J. Norris Pavilion, in honor of Harlyne. And you all know it, but I'm pleased to say it anyway. She's here with us today. Delighted to have you here. And this opened in November 1999. Why is it important? It's very important because it was debt-free once again. Good job. And now, Joan, it's your turn to say a few words. That's a brief history, folks. We're proud of them.
Thank you, John. Now that he's taken my entire speech. But he did tell you how important the city is to having this facility. If it wasn't for the city and the Norris Foundation, this would never have happened. And the community, because, as he said, debt-free. We've always, in 29 years, this community has supported this facility. And we've had to raise $600,000–700,000 a year just to operate. So I think this should be a national role model of what can happen when a city, a nonprofit organization, a nonprofit corporation, and a community of dedicated citizens get together to achieve a goal.
Well done.
And we are delighted that we've been able to provide educational and exciting entertainment for the community for these 29 years. And we look forward to being able to do even more in the future with our new education facility. Thank you all for coming. You're all of these good friends and supporters that have been with us for many years. I appreciate your being here. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Joan. That was wonderful. And now, Harlyne, would you like to say a few words? Ladies and gentlemen, Harlyne Norris. We're delighted you're here.
Well, at this point, I believe everything has been said. As far as the history, I just want to thank everybody for all the effort you've put in for all these years. And I'm proud of the growth. You know, you look back when we first opened, we thought we were filling an important need for the community. And we named the theater the Norris Community Theater then. Well, then the Negris gave a nice gift, and we had their learning center, which grew into the education division. Then came the pavilion that has been home to many fun events. And now we have the street. Yeah. So all I want to say is just thank you all for all of your efforts over all these years.
Thank you so much, Harlyne.